Well, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Take a Shot with Emem Joy Emma. I am your girl, your host, Emem Joy Emma. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you are listening to today's episode. I hope you're listening with some love, some joy, some hope, some peace. If you're not, you already know the drill. I am sending that your way right about now. Hey y'all, it's been a while. I know, don't come for me. I know I'm getting myself together. But I'm actually really excited about today's episode because as you can see, if you're watching, first of all, I'm coming at you. I upgraded, okay? I am no longer just audio, baby. I am a video and audio, so you can get the full experience. And I'm here, if you're watching via video, you can see this gorgeous goddess sitting next to me, okay? This is Bri'on Whiteside, and she is going to be my guest today. I'm so excited because Bri is not only my friend, but she's the it girl. Yeah, I said it. Yeah.
Girl!
Yeah.
Girl!
Yeah. The it girl. I'm going to tell you why, okay?
Uh-oh.
She is a media correspondent, okay? She is a business owner, and she's a wordsmith. When I tell you, there's some people that can talk and they try to do a little motivation, something, and it's like, all right, that's cute, but you like saw that on Instagram. That's why you putting that out. But no. When she speaks, you're like, yeah, I got my life today. Oh. Yep. She heard straight from God. I got my life today. That was exactly what I needed. That's why I'm excited to have her on the show today, because I know I'm going to get something, and I know that you're going to get something from today's episode. So, Bri, welcome to the show.
Thank you. That was so sweet.
All facts.
I'm excited, though, to be on here, too, because I know I'm going to get something. It's all about the exchange.
Yes,
you
ma'am.
know?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. So, y'all, I'm going to be looking down. It's my first time. Listen, be gracious. I'm going to be looking down because I got my notes. I got to come prepared because I don't do things halfway. You know what I mean? So I want to start out with, first of all, you are this, like we said, this media correspondent, this brand owner. I'm also your friend. So I know that this journey hasn't been easy for you. This is not necessarily where you thought you would end up and what you thought you would be doing. And people are like, you really are doing it here in the Toledo area. I mean, you really are making a name for yourself.
Thank you.
And so, this is not where you saw yourself.
No.
And y'all know that in this Take a Shot, we're all about doing what God tells us to do and stepping out and doing it. Bri's story is God calling her out of her comfort zone, stepping out to do something. And, this is not what she envisioned. So tell us your story a little bit to kind of, for those of us that God is calling us to step out, but we're a little bit like, that's not what we agreed on, Lord. So I don't know what you're doing. So talk a little bit about your story.
Ooh, pull up a seat, because, man, I feel like that's honestly been my entire life. Like, truly, I feel like that, I'm 26, so we're saying entire life in terms of, like, the 26 years I've been living. I feel like that has been my life experience so far. It's just what you said, like, God calling me to things, and we're still connecting dots. I think things are still starting to make sense, or things are always kind of making sense. But to go to your question of how it started, right? So I knew that I wanted to write. Well, let me go back. I knew that writing was a gift of mine in the 7th grade through a teacher. I was fortunate all throughout my academic career to have teachers that saw, I think, my talent, and they were like really pushing me because I wasn't really sure, and I didn't know anybody that was a writer, a professional writer. I didn't know anyone. I didn't know that could even be really a thing. And so I went to school in Bowling Green State University. I went to, okay, come on Falcons. I went to BG. Not a school I wanted to go to.
Let's be
honest. I wanted to go to school in New York. I felt like if I go to school in New York, I could do this writing thing. It just made the most sense. And my parents was like, out of state tuition, no. No. So I went to Bowling Green, and Well, I actually haven't thought about this.
What?
So, what I'm about to say, in a
Okay.
while, I haven't thought about this. Just what you're saying about, like, God calling you.
Yeah.
Me and my dad went to at BG, they have readings, poetry readings that you have to do in order to graduate. Me and my dad went to one on Thursday night when I was still in high school. I sat in that chapel where the poetry reading was, and it clicked, and I was like, this is where I have to come.
Wow.
And I didn't want to, though. Like, I wasn't excited about it. It's just something in my heart.
Yeah.
And then I didn't really know that was my spirit. I've grown up, you know what I'm saying, in a faith-based home, so I was aware of God talking to you, your spirit, but I wasn't really, like, connecting with it in that way of, like, I would know when it was my spirit. I would just feel like this unction, if you will. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so I was like, I went home and I told my dad, like, we're driving home, and it's like a 3-hour drive, and I was like, this is the school. Like, I don't need to see another school.
Wow.
But like I said, I wasn't excited. I wasn't like, oh, this is it. I was like, kind of grudgingly like, this is it. Like, right.
Wow.
So, went to school for creative writing, graduated, came home, was only home for 2 weeks after graduation, and I'm looking for jobs. Bowling Green sent out this, like, mass email for writing type jobs, and one was journalism at the Sentinel Tribune in BG. And I did not want to do that because I didn't want to do journalism. And my dad always told me, like, you need to do journalism, you need to do journalism, you need to do broadcast. And I'm like, no, I want to write poems. So didn't want to do journalism. Didn't want to move back to Bowling Green because I had just left there and I was ready for a big city.
Yeah.
And I had got a job in New York that I turned down because...
Wait. Huh?
Yeah, I turned it down, though, because the type of job it was almost like nonprofit work where I wouldn't be able to live in New York with the salary.
Oh, got it.
So
New York be killing them with them. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. It actually is like a AmeriCorps program, if anybody knows that. Like, you do AmeriCorps because of, like, the kindness of your heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, you're not doing it. You're not doing it to get the racks.
Right.
This is not the type of thing.
Right.
So I had turned that down, though, because I knew, like, I'm not going to be able to live in New York off that. And I just busted my butt for 4 years. I'm not going to just take anything type of ordeal at the time. So I did not want to go back to Bowling Green. But I remember applying for the job, and my mom was in my room, and I told her, I said, I'm going to get this job, and I don't want it. And she said... So
you knew you were going to get the job?
I just had a feeling, like, that it was something I had to do. But it wasn't on no cocky, though. Like, it wasn't conceited, like, I'm going to get the job. Like, I want to be very, very clear when I'm telling this story. The things that I'm saying I knew, they were not the things that I wanted. So it wasn't a sense of, like, I'm naming and claiming I'm going to get this job.
Right.
It's lit. No, it's like, I don't want this, but because I feel led to it, there was like an inner knowing of feeling led to it. It's like, I feel led to this. I don't want this, but I know that I'm going to get this and I have to take it. So there was always this internal, like, conflict because it's like, I don't want this. Yeah. And why can't, to be honest with you, dang, we getting stuff that I don't want to talk about.
Girl, let's get to it. I love it.
But it was like, I don't think I've ever said this to anybody. Definitely not publicly. The internal conflict and the wrestle with me and God has always been like, why is it that, like, you give me the stuff I don't want?
Well, listen.
You know what I mean?
Listen.
But I do want to say the light at the end of the tunnel is that the things that God gives me that I think I don't want, as I continue to journey through it, my heart turns towards it and it becomes the thing that I want and need. So it all works out.
Listen, y'all.
It all works out.
You said a whole mouthful there. A whole mouthful. Let's break it down a little. First of all, your obedience. When God is calling us to do something and we're like, this is, Lord, this is not what I want. But because I love you, I'm not perfect. I don't have everything right. But because I love you and I trust you, I'm going to step out and I'm going to do the thing. And it may not even feel that way when you're doing it. You're just like, all right. It may be.
It probably won't. It probably won't feel like that.
Exactly. It may be dragging your feet, but it's still like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go. And as you were doing it, it sounds like God, you didn't even have the desire. But as you're doing it, God's showing you all the different gifts that you have. Like you said, your dad saw a journalism in you. He saw broadcasting in you, where you only saw yourself as, I'm a writer. I'm a poet. I'm a word. This is my only. This is all I can do. And God being like, you have no idea how much I have deposited in you. And as you're going on this journey and trusting him, he's all of a sudden expanding and revealing and opening doors and doing things for you. So that, let that, y'all, we not just, talking amongst each other. Hopefully you're getting that for yourself too, as God is calling you and you feel tugged to go somewhere or live somewhere. Because now let's keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? Where you live or where you from, and you want to go to New York.
Still, and I'm gonna be honest, my heart's desire is still a big city. You get what I'm saying? So like that hasn't changed.
Lord.
Yeah, like Lord. Like that's still like my heart's desire. But kind of going back to the story in terms of when I took the job at Bowling Green, my first editor, you know what I'm saying, that I ever had, she was so kind and so tender towards me, and like she understood that I didn't have a degree in this, so she would take her lunch break and teach me, like, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. And then from there, a bigger newspaper, a bigger market reached out to me because they had saw my work again. And I want to, sorry, I have a lot going on in my head. Because this kind of stuff, I feel very passionate about this, not because it's like my story or anything like that, but I feel very passionate about it because it's real in terms of like, obedience isn't like glitz and glamour, and it's not fun. You know what I mean? But, and I feel like we need more spaces and more platforms where people talk about like the real spill behind it. You know what I'm saying? That it's not this thing of like, oh, you're obedient to God. Thank you, God. Like, it's trials and tribulations, it's tests. You know what I'm saying? So I want to be very honest as much as, as I can be on here, that every single time I was given an opportunity to elevate or to change scenery or whatever the case may be, it was always in the midst of like, okay, God, I'm going home. I used to always give myself like a time frame of like, if this and this and this doesn't happen, I'm going to go back home and I'm going to start over. Because clearly, I missed something. Yeah. And around that time, God would be like, oh, okay. Wow. Here's this.
This is what God does, y'all. This is how God does it. Listen, it's like she said, I love that she said that. It's not glitz, it's not glamour, it's not fun all the time. And a lot of people are not going to understand. That's another part of it, is when God calls you, a lot of people may not understand. What are you doing there? Why you living there? Why you working there? You doing too much. That's too much. Stop. A lot of, and they could even be your family. Thankfully, you had someone in your life that was able to see your dad, that was able to see like, no, I support you. This is, I see you. I see what God is doing. Flourish. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we would kind of have a little static sometimes though, because he was just what you said, and my mother too. But then it was like, I feel, and I want to say this appropriately, I feel like my mother was a little bit more tender towards my struggle, because when I moved to Toledo, I didn't have anybody. I didn't have any family. You know what I'm saying? I had a few friends type of thing, but I had no real like
community.
Community. I'm just now really, I've been in Toledo for 3 years, going on 4 years now, and I'm just now really starting to get community outside of having like one person here. You know what I mean? So my mother, she understood my struggle of like sometimes me wanting to come home. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't opposed to it. Now I think God has even shown her the bigger picture where she like, no, like you have to be strategic. You have to believe that your next step is going to be, you know what I'm saying? One that's going to propel you ahead. I have a grandmother that I'm very, very close to, and she's older, and she always wants me to be in the Cleveland, Warren area, closer to home. All of my family, you know what I'm saying, on both sides is like, why are you still there? So just what you said of like friends and family and everybody's like, if you don't feel completely fulfilled where you're at, we love you. Come here. We'll put our arms around you. You know what I'm saying? We'll figure it out. And what you said is like, thankfully my parents understood to the point where like they didn't really push that because they knew like this is a God thing. You know what I mean? And we can't save her from this.
Yeah. But that's amazing. Listen, you're blessed to be able to have people that even before the pushback, right? At first we had the pushback, but finally being able to see it, because I know that's not always the case.
Yeah.
But I wanna keep going, y'all. I'm telling y'all this is getting good. I want to actually get into that relationship piece, friendships, because I definitely understand. You know, I moved to Toledo too a couple years ago, and that was one of the hard things about moving and leaving everything, knowing that you're in the right place and God's calling you to the right place, but not necessarily having relationships and, you know, looking at God like, I'm here, and you know, what's going on with these relationships, and you know, I don't know quite where I fit in, and this is hard. So how were you able to, you know, you talked about you just starting to build relationships. So how were you able to, how did you go through that? How did you go through being here? Like what was your anchor? What kept you? You know what I'm saying? Because you said so many times, I want to leave. So what was the thing that made you, you know, stay? Because that's hard. And I can say that from a personal level. Yeah, I talked about this a little bit on the episode. Like from a personal level, like living in a new place, not knowing people for real, and feeling like, yo, Lord, where are we going? What are we doing? I'm tired. I want to go. Yo. So how?
Emphasis on the for real though.
Okay.
And I like how you said that, because you can be around people and know people, but they're not your tribe. No. You know what I mean? Like I was looking for my tribe, because it wasn't like I was just completely without. And the thing is though, it got to a place where like I had two really good friends here, and we would do stuff together, and I'm still friends with them. So I'm not saying had like in past tense, but they moved.
God, they moved. You funny.
So
now you
like,
playing me.
Wait. I just got into this routine with them. You know what I'm saying? We locked in. We having fun. We going out. Like it's, you know what I'm saying? It's good. And it was a multifaceted relationship where it wasn't we just were going out and having fun. But like, no, we would encourage each other. We would work together on projects. So I'm like, this is good for me. And then they moved. And like I said, we're still friends. We still keep in contact. But that happened last year. When they moved, I was very excited for them because I knew that it was in their heart to, you know, relocate and to get some things off the ground. So I was ecstatic for them. But I was tested with being 100% purely happy for them and rejoicing with them, and not feeling in my heart like, God, what about me? Like, you know what I mean? And to go to what your question about the anchor, I recently talked about this on my Instagram, where I was saying how like people talk about like your intuition and your spirit and how it protects you but also grounds you. That was my anchor, was God, was Christ. Because for me, I tried to leave 1,000 times. Like, I have a whole list of rejections from companies. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've always been trying to leave. So, as I was going through these transitions and I'm trying to find friends, I'm trying to find community, I also kind of closed myself off. Because I honestly went through, like, a depressive stage where it was just, like, I'm tired. Tired of trying to make friends. Also, I feel like once you're in your 20s, like once you graduate college and you're working full time, it's not always easy to make friends. Like, so it's like I didn't really know how to make friends. I'm a friendly person, but I would work and go home. Yeah. So it got to a point once my friends moved last year, I was like, okay, you're here still, and it's wrong for you to close yourself off, to anything and everything outside of work and then complain to God, like, I don't have this, I don't have that. You haven't blessed me with friends. Like, it was kind of like a chin check where it was like, you don't go outside. You don't show yourself friendly. When you do go out to, like, you know what I'm saying, be by yourself, you're buried into whatever you brought to entertain you, whether it's your phone, your computer. I wasn't really showing up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm
going to need you to get out of my business.
I will say this. This is something that I probably will blog about this soon. And again, I'm sorry if I'm all over the place, but I'll probably blog about this soon. But like, I have this concept now, or something I'm trying to work towards, where like, I want to live life with an open fist instead of a closed fist. And so I realized, like, I was asking God for friends and community, but my heart and my heart was closed like a fist. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, like I said, showing myself friendly. So what ended up happening was I kept praying about it. And I kept telling myself, we're going to go outside and present ourselves with the energy we want to come back. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be friendly because we want friends. We're going to make small talk. Like, I'm just going to do my part and trust that God, like, reels it all in. And I met you guys. When I say you guys, we are a part of the same life group, sisterhood. Love these women. I met them through my obedience of returning back to a church that I stopped going to.
Ooh.
So
let's talk about that.
Yeah. I had stopped going to church for a while. Wasn't really planned. Like, I left the church that I attend now because I had fallen off on some of the commitments I made privately between me and God, and I was ashamed. So I stopped going there for that reason. Nothing, no church hurt or nothing happened. I just was embarrassed. And embarrassed by something that nobody else would know. Because these were like private, you know what I'm saying? Commitments I had made to God. So it was like, if I was friends with you before and then after, you wouldn't know, like, oh, you stopped going because nobody knew. So, God was setting me up where he moved me like 5 minutes away from the church.
Nuh-uh. So you didn't always live 5 minutes away from the church?
No, I used to live, it's called Uptown, but right around downtown, like right at the art museum. Okay. So yeah, so it would be it used to be a 20-minute drive to church.
Wow, no, look at God.
And now it's 2 stoplights, 2 traffic lights away.
Not God being like, now you got no excuse. Get your butt back in that church.
And what ended up happening was when I moved, I wasn't going yet.
Oh, wow.
And so I will always go to the Dunkin' Donut. Yeah. Sorry, y'all, because I don't know where y'all watching from. It's a Dunkin' Donut right by the church. And y'all, I would be driving like this. Like, I did not want to see the church. I did not want to see the church. I was dodging the church like the plague. And one day, I had just told my dad on the phone, like, I hate driving past this church, stuff like that. He was like, that's where you need to go back. Because I was trying to find a church. So I went through a phase of, like, not really going to church, trying to find church, and then the pandemic happened. And most of the churches closed. So I had to just, watch on TV or on YouTube stuff. Yeah, stream it. So then I was like, so my dad was like, God's word for you is if you go back on Sunday and all the questions you have, he'll give you your next step pretty much. He'll answer everything. He'll give you your next step. So I went back, and when I went back, I had this whole moment of, a coming to Jesus moment, if you will, type thing. So I went back. It was great, fantastic. I keep going. But going back to your original question, I'm not showing myself friendly. I'm sitting in the back, and I'm leaving as soon as church is over.
Get out of my business.
So nobody knows me. Nobody even has a chance to see me. Nobody, unless you were one of the ushers that were super friendly. We love you guys. Unless you're one of them, you don't even have a chance to be like, hi, because I'm pew. So then I got convicted. But I got convicted about that.
Yes, ma'am.
Because it was like, okay, so you did the first step. You took yourself to a populated space. Great. But you're still not being friendly. Yeah. And the beautiful thing is God will set you up all the time. If you are, open to his leading.
Oh, I love that.
They ended up having the meet and greet at church. And I was like, I really don't want to go to this meet and greet. I'm just going to go, leave after church. And then something in my heart was like, just go. And when I went, that's when I found out about the life group. And then I showed up to life group very nervous. I was like, what if I don't like these girls? Very nervous. Walked in, and all of our hearts just knitted. And I was like, okay. Yeah. I have a tribe.
Oh, listen. First of all, y'all pick a lot of stuff going on. First of all, openness. I love that you said that. Openness. The whole time open. Second of all, I need you to get on my business. I really, because I genuinely understand, it being to a new space, not knowing anybody, and God, forming relationships and building relationships all over again, especially when you're adult and you're trying to navigate. I got this job, I got all the stuff that I'm doing, and I'm in a new space that I really don't care to be in the first place. It's hard. And so I'm gonna mind my business. And we mind our business. I mind my business. But sometimes I want you to be a light. How can you be a light if you're hidden? If you're always, and that's what I say, I feel you.
I love that though, about how can you be light when you're always hidden, because like I can say for me, I was hiding myself.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I was doing work, and I'm a journalist, so I talk to people all day, every day. So I felt like that's cool. You know what I'm saying? That's my social little time or whatever the case may be. But it wasn't anything in depth. I'm not sharing my heart with people. I'm not I'm not opening up myself. It was still like it's work. It's professional. You know what I mean? So I like what you said about like hiding, because I definitely was hiding myself.
Yeah, I feel you on that, especially. And then God will be doing amazing things in your life and wanting to, and I'm saying this from a personal place, God will be doing amazing things in your life and wanting to, use you to, show his glory and what he's doing, but you over there hiding. And and so, but again, back to that piece of just like, I'm gonna do it. It took her some time, but she stepped out and did it. And like you said, our hearts connected. This is my girl. It's odd, and the thing about friendships, if you are struggling if this is where you are right now and you are struggling with friendships, ask God, keep praying and ask God to join, just like you said, to bring to you his people. Because oftentimes there's a scripture that talks about man judges by appearance, but God looks at the heart. And oftentimes when we're, looking at friendships, oh girl, I like, she cute, she's bomb, you know what I'm saying? Bomb here. I like her vibe, she's doing a lot. Yeah. About it. And so on the outside, maybe that person, or maybe you have, similar characteristics or whatever the case may be, like you maybe like a certain, artist or music or whatever. But it's not necessarily, on a deeper level, that connection that God's trying to bring isn't there. And so this time around, it may be that God wants to align you with people that he sends your way, because the things that you've been praying for, but the way that it's gonna come is not the way that you want it to. That's why I want to come back to that piece of openness, because you decided, okay, I'm going to this life group. I'm not sure. Like, it's not my typical place to, it's not something I'm like, I want to, I know for me, it's like, it's not like I was like, oh, let me just go to this life group and da-da. But stepping out and going, it's like, oh man, you meet people where you instantly connect, where I know for me, it takes me a long time to connect with people, because Jesus is working on me. My trust issues, it's working on me. But to meet people and to be like, yo, the way we connecting is, and to genuinely feel the love that's there and the patience and the, and this, like, this is, and I have wonderful friends, back home that people I still love, but it's like, this quick, I almost have to tell God, like, yo, slow down a little bit. Like, the relationship, this is crazy. I've never felt as quickly. Connected to people as quickly. And so I just want to say to you, like, God is hearing your prayer. First of all, I feel like I've been praying that. God is hearing your prayer, and he will do. Just like she said, be open. Go to spaces and be open, and God will bring about all the things you're praying for, because he is that good and he cares about what you are going through. He cares those lonely nights, those hard, he cares. And so open up yourself and watch him work and watch him bring relationships in your life that not only benefit you, but you're able to support each other. I mean, I'm here on this podcast. My girl was like, what do you need? I got you. You want me to be on the show? I got you. What do you need? How can I help you? And for a long time, y'all, if I be candid, this has just been me, and it can get tiring, I'm tired. I'm working. At the time I was going to school full time. I was trying to do this. I was trying to launch my business, my show, we got merch.
Y'all see the fit.
So I was trying to do all of these things by myself, y'all. And if I be honest with you, that's a reason why I kind of stepped back, because I was overwhelmed and tired. And so to have people come alongside you and like, we got you, we'll support, we'll lift, what do you need, we'll help you in the way that we can. It's like, yo, wait a minute, so God will do what he does. I want to stay in this vein of relationship for a little bit.
Okay.
Specifically romantic relationships, because on our group chat we was talking about that, and I was like, this is an episode.
Let's get into it.
I literally was writing a whole story, and I was like, because I'm about to write a novel, because I'm really, really passionate about it. I want to talk to you about, so we're in this place in our lives where you go online and everybody's getting married. Everybody, you know what I'm saying, is popping babies, which is a blessing. We're not mad at it. We love it, and we love to see it.
Shout out to y'all.
Right, we love to see it. But do you find yourself at this stage in your life wanting a relationship, or find it difficult? Like, how are you with that space now? In this new thing that God has been doing in your life, in your heart, and everywhere. So how are you dealing with relationships?
This is so funny you asked me this, because I just had a conversation with my older brother on my way here about it. If I had to sum it up short and sweet, I would say it's complicated. Because so I do desire marriage. I've always wanted to be a mother. Like, I probably started plotting on kid name at like 5. Like,
oh, wow.
I love children. I was considering going to school to be a teacher.
Wow.
So with that, like, love for children, I would love to have my own children. So I do want that, but the desire has changed a lot over the years, because there was a point in my life, there was a very long season of my life where I was very needy, and I felt like I needed to be entertaining a man, right? So like, I was the queen of situationships before people even like started labeling it that.
Right.
Like, I never had a lot of boyfriends, but I always had somebody, you know what I'm saying, that I was dealing with. And so I recently, for the past, going almost on a year, like, I haven't talked to anybody or anything like that, really. Just really been like getting to know me. This kind of stuff be sounding so cliche, because it's like on social media all the time, you're healing, and I don't mean it in a bad way, because it's true, but I don't think it's the way the social media like portrays it. You get what I mean?
What do you mean?
Like, people will always say, get out that toxic relationship and heal on social media.
Yeah, but how?
Or let's talk about how many times you're going to want to go back to that toxic relationship, because it's hard.
Yeah.
And let's talk about how, like, you're going to be at odds within yourself, because to me, it's like you're overcoming you're overcoming perhaps the only thing you've known.
Wow.
So for me, all I knew was situationships, entertaining a man. I want love. I'm gonna find it on my own type thing, right? Yeah. So like, this space that I'm in right now, the difficulties that I have faced have been, I don't know what this looks like. I don't know how this feels. I'm doing this for the first time. And it's very easy to want to go back to what's familiar. You know what I mean? So to answer your question, where am I at? The reason I say it's complicated is because I know that this is what I want in life, and I do believe it's coming for me, but for the first time in my life, I'm not pressed about it. So like, yeah, and it's weird, because with me being 26, about to be 27.
Yeah.
It feels like this is the time to be pressed. Do you get what I'm saying? Because it's like, that clock.
Yeah.
But I've been working very hard on wrapping my head around, like I said, I believe that these things will happen for me. But in the event that they don't, can I be okay within myself? Can I feel good about the woman I am? And can I build a beautiful life without the husband and the family? You get what I'm saying? And so I've never even tried to like sort through that, because my 100 thing was like, I'm gonna get married, I'm gonna have kids, you know what I mean? And like now it's like, again, owning my desire. Yes, I want these things. But in the event that I don't get it, are we gonna just sit, you know what I'm saying, and wait for it? Or are we going to still go after purpose, go after, you know what I'm saying, love? One thing that helped me last summer when I was going through some things and kind of like, I feel like I was forced into this position, this posture I have right now, because it was so much chaos around me when it came to dating, and it was like chaotic situation after chaotic situation after different people, but same. You get what I'm saying? Like chaos. I got to the point where it's like, I don't want this anymore. I don't know what's on the other side, but this has to go. Like that was my thing. Yeah. So I want to be clear. It's not like I woke up and was like, oh, I want better for myself. No, it was like I was dragging myself through the mud. Yeah. And it was like, okay, we got to switch it up. Yeah, I'm done. I came to the end of my road in terms of that. Yeah. And so with that, though, as I was trying to grapple with that, and as I was trying to, like I said, not go back to what felt familiar, which was chaos to me, I realized I've been putting all this emphasis on romantic love. Yeah. Probably, I had my first boyfriend at like 14. So I say from 14 to 25, 26. I've been putting all this emphasis on romantic love. And the reality is that I have more love than I could probably even like contain right now. God has blessed me an overflow of family and friends and people that like genuinely love me. You know what I'm saying? It's not romantic, but the love is there. I feel it. They surround me with it. That's a blessing. Not everybody can say that. There's people who are struggle with loneliness because they really are like physically alone. I'm not. I could call about 10 people today that will pick up the phone for me and hear me out. So I had to really put things in perspective. Like, you don't have romantic love right now, okay, but you have a lot of love around you. And shame on you for like overlooking that love because you think that you need this, you know? Like, so I don't know if I answered your question of where I'm at with it. Like, I guess to sum it up, since I've been talking forever, like where I'm at is that it's a desire of mine, but I'm working on, if not, we're going to live a beautiful life and we're going to do everything, you know what I'm saying, within God's will that we can, that's on our heart. Like, I'm not going to stop the show because I'm not married and I don't have children at 27. Like, that's not the vibe over here.
So I have a question for you to dig a little deeper into that, because she said a lot. You already know I'm here for the breakdown. We'll break it down a little bit, but I got to ask you, if God were to say, if you don't get married till 50, or if you never get married, are you at the place where you're okay with that?
I'm working on that. We're on the journey starting there. I won't sit up here and say I'm yes. No, because when you said 50, the not getting married to 50 hit harder than the never, because I want kids. Yeah. Kids is a big thing to me. Yeah. I obviously want the marriage, but I want to be a mother and I want to birth my children. So the 50, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm not Sarah. I'm not having no baby. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. To be honest with you, not to do like a side caveat, but that's probably been the more struggle point. That's been the more pain point for me, is that when I was a child, I thought 25. I kept saying that in my head. Like, I don't know. I'm sure this is common. I can't be the only one that had like a whole life plan. So for me, I wanted to be a young mother. I wanted to have my children in my early to mid 20s. I wanted to be active, vibrant. I wanted to feel like I was in tune with them still, versus being a little bit more older, a little bit more settled, and there being this age gap, right? So now at 27, I'm like, well, we'll be doing good if we maybe have a kid by 30. But what God's working on my heart is, I'm letting go of the time frame, and like I said, it's a working process because I want what's right and I want what's good. You get what I'm saying? So like, I can't say with like an absolute, I would be 100% cool. I wouldn't cry about it. I wouldn't feel no way. I'd be like, this is lit. No, I'm not there yet, but that's where I'm working towards.
That's amazing. First of all, I feel you 1,000%, and the reason why I asked that, I've brought that y'all that are listeners, you already know. Like I've talked about this a number of times. This is also something that God is walking me through. If I be honest, and not only that, I read a book. The book is I'm using my this book. I don't want to put it up, but it's called The Single Truth by Lori Smith. And I was given this book some years ago. And one of the things that the author said was, hey, God never actually promised marriage. And that rocked me for a little bit because I was like, yeah, And I believe that God gives the desire of your heart? I do. I know that he's that good because, I mean, there are things that I'm living in today. He's come through in ways that the ways that he's come through, I've been like, I didn't picture it coming in my life that way. But the fact is it came.
Yeah.
And God exceeded it every time. So do I believe that God, I don't want to put out a message like, oh, be sad. That's never going to happen for you. That's not what I'm saying. But also, it's also a reality that, God never promised it. And so I love that you said, like, what are you going to do? What are you gonna do with your life, and sometimes God wants to show us like, there's more there's so much more that I have and you could be doing right now. And oftentimes, we look at, and I'm guilty of it too, because you grow up in a culture, and I know in my specific Nigerian culture, the phone calls. When are you getting married? When will you marry? When will you marry? And I'm 30, so they're like, yeah, getting old. I want grandbabies, and I'm like, I know why you're talking to me about that. Talk to Jesus Christ himself. I don't know why you're coming at me. I don't know. Okay, and so our culture just says, this is what you should be doing. And again, no knock. It is a beautiful thing to be married and to have a life and have children. But, God has a plan. And right now, he has things that he wants to do in you, through you, with you right now. And so it may be the time for you to kind of lay that down and just like my girl did, and just like I'm walking through right now, and just, Lord, I want this, but I want what you have for me, and I trust you. There's also that element of trust. I trust you. I trust that even though this may not be in my life right now, that, your plan for me, your picture for my life is a lot better. Even though it's not maybe it's a lot better, grander than I could ever imagine. So what I'm going to do, Holy Spirit, I'm going to get out the way. And I'm going to let you be God. And I'm going to give you the pain. And I'm going to give you the nights where I'm crying. I'm going to give you the honesty of God. I don't even know. Just like you said, building relationships, going out. Like, I'm going to give you the prayer of God. How do I even begin to, build relationships or have friendships or allow people, all of that. I'm going to give that to you, and I'm going to partner with you. And so I don't know if that's for you, like, take that, because, we're not experts by any means, but, we understand it, and, we're no less than because we're not married. We're no less than because, we don't have kids. God has much to do and is doing much in our lives right now and continuing to blow our minds every single time. So
certainly. I wanted to say something really quick too. Like, I think it's really important that, like, you also are honest with yourself. So, like, for me, what has also helped me kind of navigate this space is how, like I said, I always wanted a family. I kind of wanted to just mimic what I have. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had come from a beautiful union of, between my parents, two parent home, whole shebang, great. The reality is, though, is like I was dating to fill voids, and you cannot go into a marriage like that. So my challenge has been, are you ready to even be somebody's wife right now? No. Like, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, the space I'm in right now is we're doing the ugly, dirty work of healing. We going through the valleys. We're strengthening ourselves, and I'm learning that, like, my identity, my self-worth, my self-value, that comes from Christ. That doesn't come from me being with this man. There's nothing that a man can say that can give me that. You know what I'm saying? That's within. That's from my spirit, and you know what I'm saying, my connection to Christ. So that's been also helping me, and that's something I want to encourage people too, is like, if you are watching this and if you feel like, well, time is ticking and I'm not, you know what I'm saying, I'm not married yet, do some self-reflection too and say, you know, God, like, what is my desire for marriage stemming from? Is it because I feel like marriage will complete me? Because that's not the thing. I personally believe that marriage will, it should be an addition. You know what I'm saying? It should bring out certain traits in you. It should add to you. It should, you know, strengthen you through a little bit of tug. You know what I mean? Like, all of these things. But, like, you have to be complete within yourself, whether you're married or not. You have to be sure of yourself, whether you're married or not. So I don't think that's talked about a lot on social media. No. It's like, meet your better half. Yeah. And it's like, no, be whole. Yeah. And meet another whole person. Yeah. And y'all live, y'all bring y'all wholeness together, and y'all forge a beautiful, you know what I'm saying, path.
Yeah. Like, I love that you said that too, because you're absolutely right on social media. I mean, we love the socials. We on the socials.
Y'all be inspiring me. So no shade.
Right.
I love a good proposal on Instagram.
Yes. Like, ooh, and a lot of those relationships, again, no shade, some great, but the fact is, we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. And so it's like, you know, you look, your life, your relationship looks picturesque, but I don't know what's really, you know, going on.
And we want it.
And I want something that God is like, if you only knew, you know, what goes on. And so I love how you said, you know, the healing piece of just like what healing looks like for you, which is your relationship with God, and which is him assuring you that, yo, you know, my love, I love you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'll fill you up. And I'll fill you up with myself. I'll bring people in your life that'll fill you up. I'll show you I'll show you love. Yeah. You know, that you are loved, that you are wanted. I know for me, you know, all of those things, like, but also for me, it's like, but you are lovable, you know, because we getting personal. You know me, I'll be about my private life, but you know, I'm gonna say this. You know, one of the things I struggled with was, am I lovable? You know, am I lovable? Because Jesus, it feels like, I know I had low self-esteem for a long time. Y'all already know that. God is walking me out of that and showing me who I am in him, and showing me that scripture, fearfully and wonderfully made. I'm actually starting to believe that now. But that's taken a while to believe that. But also, you know, when God hides you, and because I believe for some people that's not their story, but for me, I've realized that, yo, God, you've been covering me for a long time, because a lot of relationships that I had I've talked about this on the potty, you know, a while ago. I'll try to link the episodes, keyword, YouTube and things are new, but I'll try to link the episodes. But there are a lot of times where, you know, relationships could have flourished, and, you know, I could have gotten into certain relationships, and God will, I'm not letting it happen. And for a long time, I struggled with, like, is it me? Is it me? Like, am I not lovable because, you know, these dudes don't be, you know what I'm saying? Like, either they don't approach or as I want, or when they do, it's like it never works out. So I'm like, what is it? Is it me? And God, you know, showing me like, yo, you know, you are lovable, and let me show you that you are loved. right now, and let me pour my love on you for you to see yourself the way I see you, and that you are loved, and that I love you with an everlasting love, and that I place people around you who literally love the people in my life where it's like, yo, I love you. I don't know what you're doing or you pushing me away, but I'm not gonna let you do that. I love you. And so allowing God to do that has been life changing for me, and realizing, and that's been building up my esteem, because now I'm like, you know, with these gentlemen, yes, that's a desire of my heart, but the fact of the matter is, when I struggle, when I go through my spaces of struggles, I know I'm loved. I come back to that, even regardless of how I feel, because I be feeling away sometimes. Back to that, God will remind me in His own ways, you're loved, you're wanted, and I'm right here with you. And so I just want to share that with you. Y'all, we're an hour in. Well, we're not done. So what I'm going to do, y'all, is we are going to end, and there's going to be a part 2 coming next week. So stay tuned for that. But we are going to end today's episode right here. Bree, let us know where we can find you. Let us know all the things, your business, your what you doing. Let us know all the things, okay?
So I am the co-founder, co-owner of a greeting card business called Simply Put Co. You can find us on Instagram at Simply Put Shop. Also, all my IG handle, or not IG, goodness, all of my social media handles are Wordsmith Bree. And you can find me there, and I always kind of like cross, advertise, cross, reference all of the things I have going on. I also have a blog, BW the Brand, where I talk about spirituality, mindfulness, as well as like entertainment, because I'm a big music like lover. So that's where you can find me.
Yeah, and also, y'all, she's not gonna say, but I'm gonna say it for her. Her cards are now in stores.
Oh, thank you.
Brick and mortar stores.
Yes, if you're in the Toledo area, we do have cards in Handmade Toledo on Adams Street. And I don't know when this is coming out, but we also are doing a lot around March being Women's History Month. So we do have a card right now that is so near and dear to my heart. We also do daily affirmations. So make sure that you kind of like tap in with us if you need a little bit of inspiration, some encouragement, some love. Like, that is our whole focus for the month of March.
Look at you. Not only a car company, but devoted to you and lifting you up. Now, yes. what company what car company
That's our whole purpose right there.
You know what I'm saying? So anyway, y'all, you already know where I am at Take a Shot Podcast. If you like today's episode, go ahead and like if you're on YouTube, because we on here now, honey. And not only that, if you're listening on audio, go ahead and subscribe, rate, and review, because when you do that, it just lets others know that we are here. We do exist. Yes. If you enjoyed today's episode and you found it helpful, look, go ahead. Sharing is caring. Share it with your loved ones. Share it with your family, your friend, your dog, your cat, whatever. Yes. Share it with whoever you think this will benefit, because I know that I enjoyed today's conversation, and I hope that you did too. Lastly, like I said, we out here, baby. We got merch. We got merch.
Get into it.
Get into it and wear that you're loved. This design is on purpose. Wear that you are loved. I know when I wear this, it's a reminder for me. And to listen, the enemy on I'm loved. Them little lies you be telling me I'm not loved, not lovable, that's a lie. From the pit of hell, I am loved. And so put that on display. I'm loved, and wear that.
Yeah, celebrate that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got this in a crew neck and in a t-shirt. So go ahead and get yours. Live your best life. I love you. I appreciate you. And I can't wait to talk to you in the next episode. Bye-bye.